First of all, I would like to say thank you to Jah, who bless us and keep us and direct us all, sustain us within life, health, and strength, so that we can once more even come and represent Him as a being and a person within I and I. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. On behalf of the late Rashiyama and the family, I would like to say thank you to the Office of the President, the SWAPO Party at large, musicians, the whole nation, and for the Rastafari community, hosting this event as one unity. It is a sad thing to mention that the family is really saddened by some of the comments which our unsensitive commenters give on social media. And I quote, "It's social media, we will say and do whatever we want." But we should know that we are people of compassion. We have care, we have love. We cry when people die, and we rejoice when we achieve achievements. So in the time of people's mourning, we should know that also us will have a mourning in the run. So we would like to treat it with the utmost love and respect that is due to all Namibian citizens. So Rashiyama never was a man who seek fame. We know him before fame. Fame seek him, never him seek fame. So I would love the public to put to rest the norm or the motion that they have that he was jealous over money that was given 10 years ago. Come on, guys, think about it. It's a bit outdated, we don't need that. Getting back to the question of a bit of background on Rastafari. Rastafari is a religion that most people want to claim, but it is not a religion. Rastafari is a way of life. What and how did Rastafari come to existence? Rastafari come to existence through the crowning of the emperor in 1932 November, Addis Ababa. In this crowning, the king manifests prophecy and history. So this is the facts that Rastafari is based on.
So were you ordained as a chaplain, and what powers does it give you?
Okay, as now, I was in a summer chosen to be the chaplain. Reason why I was chosen is because they say in my father's house there are many mansions. So we have the churchical and then we have the priestical. So I belong to the priestical order. So automatically you go through certain phases in which we call them crownings. So it begins with open-headed, undead prophet, towards a crowned prophet, towards an acting priest, towards the high priest now. So this is how the rank is set. So me, myself, right now, is a crowned prophet, which is caretaking the realm of the priesthood, because I am in the training of that.
Now, the movement or the way of life, as you put it, is characterized by unique practices, including the cultivation of dreadlocks and, of course, the sayings that go about that there is also a ritual use of cannabis. Are these part of the worshipping practices, or who do you worship, if I may put it?
Rastafari. The Rastafari people and the Rastafari community at large worldwide worship King Selassie as God. Why do we worship King Selassie as God? Because when the Bible was written, for example, there was no J in the alphabet. So it was Jesus, justice, you know. So when Jesus died and on the cross, he said he will come again in a new name, you see. So this new name will be terrible and thunderable amongst the heathen. So when Rastafari got crowned, 2nd November 1930, it prophesied the reality of history coming true in prophecy, that the second coming of Christ has then come. Because when you look at the titles of him that rideth on the white horse, it's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. If you look up in all crown dictionaries now in the world, only one man stand up with that title, and him is King Selassie, the King of Addis Ababa. This is the reasons, besides plenty of other reasons, why Rastafarians follow and believe in King Selassie as our God and King. Again, if you look at it, the oldest Bible, the oldest history, unconquered, is from Ethiopia. So why should I follow a modern thing when the Ethiopian calendar outdates any calendar in the whole world? So why should I follow what came in between and not follow what the way it started? So when the king was crowned in Ethiopia, there was a brother from Jamaica. He was a captain on the British ships. So he learned in Britain that there's going to be a king crowned in Africa. And all 72 nations had to send representatives to crown and bow for this king. I mean all, from Britain to the last city. 72 of them had to go and bow to the king. It was his fulfillment of prophecy. So this is why Africa has been in the colonizing realm, where they stole our archives and blackwash and whitewash us. You see? That everything in heaven is white and everything in hell is black. So this is the ways of the system, trying to change the reality with fiction. So this is why the Rastafarians hold on to the ancient old teachings of His Majesty.
Now, tell us a little bit about how you view public's, perception that Rastafarian or people who believe in it are more linked to, the dreadlocks and the cannabis and the smoking. How do you deal with that stigma?
We don't really deal positive with it, but as God-fearing people and God-loving people, we stand on the basis of love, and the basis of love means forgiving. So if you can't forgive, no matter they lock you up today for something that they really shouldn't lock you up for, you see? Because the misconception of the public, because you can't blame the public. They only fit what the media perceive them. So that's what they are fit of. So the reality is this: if Namibian claim that they are a sovereign country with a religious backbone, why do they fight a creation that God created if all of them worship God? Because we didn't came with cannabis from our mother's wombs. We came to find cannabis through study and engaging with nature. Because you see, before mankind was there was nature. There was the sea, there was the earth, there was the flowers, there was the trees, and all these things created by God. And then He find it fit to create man to caretake of these things. So none of us came with this. We found it here. To find that the tetrahydrocannabinoid and the human hydrocannabinoid, they are like a lock and key. This is how we heal a lot of diseases within our Rastafari communities. You see, because cannabis is not just for the smoking of it, but here instead it is illegal. It can't be rightfully taught to the people how to use and how to maintain and how to sustain with cannabis. So yet we find all these myths, because most of them are talked by people and believed by people who never partaked in cannabis their whole life. I've been smoking weed from 1998. I don't see the doctors, I don't see the hospital, because my body learned to regulate itself. So the Constitution gives us the right to self-medicate, but the justice take that away from us. It is like you can't have laws set without consent of the citizens of your country. So if people only look at the negatives of it, then they will really not see the positives. Because all that negatives have no facts, but all the positives have a lot of facts concerning the cannabis. So this is what the government should engage and look into. Right now, people are dying of HIV and AIDS. We have reversed with cannabis HIV and AIDS from 70,000 viral load to undetected with children aboard. And we have to prove black and white, not by us, by the same Babylon doctors, your doctors, the system's doctors, not Rastafari doctors. They have to prove how the patient is reversing. And it still astonishes them. Yet we can't disclose this kind of healing. And the people need this. So the government should really look into it. You know?
Now, you officiated the late Rashama's memorial recently. What are some of the Rastafarian rituals that you performed publicly at the memorial?
Okay, what you want me to run you through?
Yeah,
how I prepared
yes,
myself and how the Rastafari community
yes.
had to prepare themselves for
Yes.
this kind of event.
Yes.
You see, it's like, because we are deprived of certain things like land. Land gives any community or any religion or any society or any people a community of practicing their way of life. That's why there's so many churches. But we don't practice a diversity of churching. We practice a unity of churchhood. So if we are governed these little necessities to can just sustain ourselves, but now our liberty must be governed a bit out of society because it is a bit cramped in the norms of society because of the way society is set for us to develop. While we could play a very, very big role in nation development, we, the Rastafari community, go through the fasting rituals, like the one I'm on right now, where we do it on Monday, Wednesday, from the 12th before till the 12th midday. And then we have the 40-day and 40-night fasting that is coming up every year that we are part of. And then we have the burial ceremonies. We don't actually call them burial ceremonies. We call them send-offs. You see, because Rastaman is a seed, created from the earth, so we just give it back to where it come from, and the rest just take, because it belongs to him, irrespective of how we come and go, That's why our God is a unique God, He's a God of love, Our God doesn't judge, It's not like the Christian churches that say, no, you hang yourself, we can't bury you. We bury all people because the love we had then must be the love we have then, when it is, because everyone have the right to choose his own destiny, you see, and God is the only one that can judge, So no one must judge, because God said, leave the judging to him. So we, the society, should live closer to God, That's what the Rastaman perceive daily. That's why we fulfill the reality in the Bible. That's why the Bible, you people read it with an oppressive mind, you see? Because the way you perceive it is to think that you are better than the next, because that's how the society is set. The society is set in a gullible way. They just want. They want to be better. They want to have a bigger car, a better house, you see, more money. But in Rastafari, we are grounded by peace and love. So when you have a clean heart, all these things don't matter because they are just vanity, you see. But the way we perceive and treat people matter more than these big houses and big cars and things. And why should one man have so much money and so many people on the street are suffering?
What is, perhaps lastly, what is this one thing that you would like the public to understand about the Rastafarian way of life?
We are not hobos. We are not drug addicts. We are not misled. We are not worshipping a deity or an idol. We worship a true God like everyone else. You see, in the Bible it says it's a tree with many branches, They call him on many names, but we all believe that God made the sun shine and the moon at night with the stars. So surely God must be one in all of us. It's just how we see it. Might God be an elephant and Ayman is holding the trunk and you might hold the tail. We would differ about the ways of God. But the ways of God is always one, if they are practiced in the right ways, Yet we are loving people, but we are shunned because of the outlook of society, because we don't fit into the normal lines of society, because we follow the Bible, the way we have to dread and why we have to dread, because number 6 in the Bible said that is the way, the vow of the Nazarene. So this is what we follow. We try to emulate the Bible in all we're doing. you see? Not only on Sunday or on the Sabbath, but daily, you see? So we have a lot of blessed love. So the misinterpretation that come on Rastafari mostly is because of the fashionization of the dreadlock. So now people do a lot of kind of things under this realm of the dreadlock. And then people say the Rasta robbed me, it was the Rasta who stabbed him, it was the Rasta. So it gives a bad name towards Rastafari. So if the ruling parties can also, like, they protect other citizens, protect the Rasta people's rights, you see? And the justice system can also look into our rights, you find? To use a God-given and a God-created plant for our sacrament, you find? Because we don't use it to get high. You can't really get high out of ganja. You can smoke all day, you won't get high. You can't get intoxicated. You never. I don't know where the people get this myth from. They can come and we can reason in depth about this kind of reasoning still. We are open to it, you see? We were tired of marching. It reaches us nowhere. We want to meet, engage. Let the government, Ministry of Health and things, we don't want court cases, nothing. We want to engage. Talk it out. Let's reason it out. Let's put the facts on the table. Let's find a way, because there is ways. It's just our government might be blind to it. They send out people to go and see how others do it. But we as a nation should start to look in ourselves, you see. When Frankie Fredericks won our first Olympics, he didn't look into the other runners that he was running from. He looked into where he come from and the strength he has. That was his determination. So we should set our own models. We shouldn't copy things, because we are capable of doing that. You see, we ourselves in the Rastafari community already have worked out the first curriculum of our schooling for Rastafari. We just wait now for the Minister of Education and them to engage with us, where we can be granted land and we can practice this kind of practices, because there's a lot of things that Rasta is about than the people perceive Rastafari as.